Here are my 5 favorite shoulder openers, and you might notice that all 5 of them involve moving the shoulder actively through a full range of motion. And the other cool thing about all 5 of these is that they could fit really perfectly right into a yoga practice context. So the first shoulder opener that I love is called a kneeling plank slide out. So we start here in kneeling plank, so my knees are down. Hands around something that can slide. And I slowly, so I try to control this. I let my hands slide forward until the point where I kind of can't control it anymore. And then I just let myself come all the way down without like working against it. So, and then you don't pull yourself back up from there. You can just come on back and then start again. And this is a great way to work the shoulder through this overhead range of motion. But the whole time that the arms are lifting, they're also trying to pull back. They're pulling like down in order to resist the movement. And therefore, this is actually a really great shoulder pulling movement, which is something that yoga practitioners in particular don't get like hardly any of or none of in a yoga practice. So just a slow slide out, and then you can kind of just let it go once you can't control it anymore. So that's the kneeling plank slide out. And then we have what I like to call the posterior block hold. So we could take a yoga block, we hold it back behind us, but instead of gripping with the fingertips, we press it in between our palms. So we're not holding like by gripping, but we're holding by pressing. And then we try to bring the elbows as straight as possible. They may not get all the way straight. And just that, like I already feel maybe a little bit of cramping happening through the backs of my shoulders, but you could also attempt to lift more, and you could do like a few lifts in a row. For broader shouldered people or just people with like less shoulder flexibility, you could always have, say, 2 blocks side by side just to widen what they're pressing into. But that's the posterior block hold, and it's a great way to work into shoulder extension in an active manner. Now we have the halo, and we can use a yoga block again for this. And this is, well, you'll see. So we start with the block here, we tip it to one side, and we halo it all the way around our head. And we can keep going in one direction, or we could switch side to side. And what's key here is to keep everything still, especially the head, and just let that block move around the head. So you can imagine this is a really, really great way to work shoulder mobility in that overhead position. It's not so much about strength because the block isn't very heavy, but if we wanted to actually make it strengthening, we could add a kettlebell. And this is a little more of the classic way that you see the halo. So you're holding the kettlebell in this position and you halo it around your head without anything else moving. So that's an excellent shoulder opener that is active. And then we have the prone retraction with tricep extension, kind of a long name, but it looks like this. We lie all the way down, and then we make fists with our hands, squeeze our shoulder blades together, lift, and then we straighten the elbows. So it looks like this. So as you can see that in order to lift my like fists off the floor, I squeezed my shoulder blades together on the back. So that's the retraction part. Really nice work for the backs of the shoulders. And then keeping that, I straighten the elbow. So it's a tricep extension. So one more time. That's what it looks like. And you can do several of those in a row, and they're very potent for targeting the backs of the shoulders. Both mobility, so like shoulder opening, and also shoulder strength. And then finally, we have the pullover. And this is something that we could do with a yoga block or a kettlebell. And just like with the halo, when we use the yoga block, it's more a mobility exercise. And if we were to use the kettlebell, it would be more about strength. But we squeeze into the block here and we lower the block overhead and then we lift back up. So it's a nice way to work mobility that way. Then if I wanted to combine mobility and strength, I could do the pullover with a kettlebell, in which case I hold it straight overhead. I try to keep everything super still. And then I lower the kettlebell slowly and I lift it right back up. So those are my 5 favorite shoulder openers. I hope you enjoy possibly bringing some of them into your practice. If you appreciate this content, subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on all of the content and tips that I share.